every plan starts with an idea, right? You want to lose weight because you feel bad about yourself. The idea, the personal belief that you want to get better as a human being and you want to lose weight, you want to look fucking ripped, you want to look like fucking Aziz, or you want to look like Aziz and you want to be aesthetic and you want to look good, or you want to you want to build your own business, but you need to start with a business plan or an idea. So every plan or goal starts with an idea, but there's not a lot of talk about what to do after you get that idea, right? There's just the idea and then the goal. See, winners and losers have the exact same goals. It's what's in between that sets them apart. A winner puts actionable steps into completing his plan, and a loser just tries to wing it. So you see them a lot of times fail and like say they're gonna do something and they'll do it for a little bit, but then they'll stop. Their lifestyle will stop them from accomplishing their goals. And I know the surefire way of wanting to do your goals. Like if you have an idea of where you want to go and where you want to become, but you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, or oh, I don't want to read, or oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. I have a way of resetting your brain so that you want to do these things and push yourself away from the things that are distracting you but you enjoy so much. And you've probably already heard of this, but it's called a dopamine detox. So all you have to do is take a weekend or a nice like day that you have off, for a couple days. You could even do it for a longer period of time, but I'm going to show you the short version so you can do it faster and do it immediately. So now that it's the weekend or it's your days off, you want to refrain from doing anything pleasurable for the next time being, whatever that be. You're doing a full 24 hours, which is what I recommend, or if you're doing the long-term one, which I also recommend, but for different circumstances. If you're really, really committed or you're ready to go full out and do this for a period of months, go ahead. But if you're only doing this for 24 hours or like 2 days or a weekend or whatever, then what you're going to need and what you're going to do is you need to refrain from doing anything pleasurable. The only things you're allowed to do are read, write, and journal, and walk. You can go on walk, but that's it. And drink water. You're gonna avoid food, even healthy, all pleasurable food, anything like that. You're gonna fast for the day. For the 24-hour one, if you're going 48, I'd recommend eating healthy, something that you don't really enjoy that much, something very simple. But you're gonna be fasting for this whole day, and you're gonna be focusing on just writing and reading and walking. That's all you're gonna do. You're gonna let your brain like nag at you, and you're gonna want to eat. You're gonna want to play video games. You're gonna want to do all these pleasurable things, and you're gonna reset your brain, because by the time this period is over, everything else is going to feel so much easier to do, because it's going to feel way more rewarding in comparison to not doing anything and just sitting around reading and writing and not doing anything. Some things you can read and write while you're in this thing is self-improvement books, and and for the writing aspect, you can write about what you want to do or what your goals really are to accomplish. Okay, so for me, journaling, I like to journal a lot. Helps me get over shit. Like the thoughts I have that are very intrusive, they tend to stay in the journal and get out of my head that way. So that way, if I'm stressing out over something, I can write about it, write what I can do, write what I want to do, write what I hope can happen, and then it's out of my head. It doesn't stress me out anymore, and I just wait for the opportunity of me being able to do something actionable and then just do what I can. I also recommend getting like a nice one with a nice pencil, so you're more likely to write, and it's more pleasurable to write when you have something that's really cool looking or really nice looking. And then as for reading, I like to use a Kindle. I think this is the 6th edition. It's this thing, black and white, and I can't be distracted by other apps. And it's better than books because I can just download them and buy them here and not wait for anything. Like if I think of a book I want to read, I can just immediately download it. Right now I'm reading The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco, talking a lot about like money and things you could do to avoid being poor, and just how to get in the mindset of a millionaire so that you're not falling for all the traps that advertisers set for you. But during this day, you're going to be drinking a lot of water, so what I recommend you get is a big ass water jug. Let me show you mine. This is my 1 gallon water jug. It's fucking huge. It doesn't look as big on camera, but I promise you this thing is fucking huge. It's a full gallon. I actually drink like two and a half of these a day. And it just makes it really easy for me to keep track of my water and how much water I'm drinking and making sure I'm drinking enough water. I noticed that when I drink water bottles, because I can't drink the tap water here, it's not Michigan, but pretty damn close. But when I did drink water bottles, I noticed that I would not know in my head how many waters I was drinking. I would just know, oh, I think I drink a gallon. I think I drink enough today. But the gallon really changed shit up. And plus, you don't have to go anywhere for water for the whole day. You can just know that once you drink this, you're done for the day. It just makes things much easier. And another thing you're going to be doing a lot is meditate. Just sitting in your head and letting your thoughts pass by your head, creating this peace of mind. I can show you guys how to do that. It's you don't have to sit like they do in the monks do in like the movies and everything. You can just sit in a chair, keep your knees and hips at the same level, keep your palms on your knees, and just close your eyes, keep your back straight. That's the biggest thing in meditation, is keeping your back straight. And just close your eyes, and then just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, and just control your breath. Control your breath and focus on making your inhales and exhales as soft as possible. Like, eventually, you're not going to do this right away, but once you get better at it, you should be able to get your nose breathing up to a point where you can't even hear it or feel it. There's this book I read called The Oxygen Advantage, and the what's his name? Patrick McCune. He wrote the book. And he talks about that the correct form of breathing is that your nostril hairs should not even move when you're resting. That's how light your breathing should be. So if you can just focus on trying to get your breath to be as light but as fulfilling as possible, then that's how you're breathing right. And if you're focusing on breathing right, you can get into a meditative state way easier and try to avoid focusing on negative thoughts or things that are stressing you out, or just make your mind really peaceful. So learn to do this during this. It's going to help a lot. Meditation just helps with a ton of shit like addiction and things like that. Oh, and that big one is not going on your phone, because throughout this day you're not going to be on your phone. So I suggest you tell your loved ones, the people you love, just people who are going to be worried about you if you go missing for a day, let them know what you're doing, and let them know the day you're doing it and the period you're doing it at. And if you have Snapchat streaks, I know some of you younger kids have Snapchat and want to keep snap streaks, and you're like, oh, I don't want to lose my streaks. If you really need it that bad, you could tell someone. I don't think you should have snap streaks, honestly. That's kind of fucking cringy. But if you need snap streaks and you need someone to keep your snap streak, you could give your account to your friend you trust. Obviously, don't give it to someone who's gonna fuck with you, but give it to a friend you trust and have them keep your snap streaks alive. Or you could fucking do it at the beginning, and then hopefully like an hour before get it, or have someone else do it. Go on your phone. As long as you're not going on your phone, it's fine, but have someone else send out your streaks. If seems like it's something too heavy for you, you could do it with a friend. That way you guys can just talk the whole time and spend the whole day together just talking, and make it a lot more bearable. But I guarantee you're gonna get way more out of this if you do this by yourself. So if you can, do it by yourself. But if you absolutely can, because you're a fucking pussy and you don't want to do it by yourself, you can do it with a friend, and I'm sure you'll still get a lot of the benefits of it, as long as you just don't do anything pleasurable and just talk and walk and write. Now we're going to talk about pre-dopamine detox and post-dopamine detox. Before you start this, make sure you have a big finishing meal, because you're not going to be eating for the whole day. Have a big meal at the end of the day. Obviously not too big, don't go too crazy, but have a nice big healthy meal, so that when you go into this, you're not going to be dying. You're going to feel like shit either way, but I'm just saying have something healthy that has a lot of nutrients to it. And now post-dopamine detox, the first thing you don't want to do is make all your hard work mean nothing. So don't go and do the things that you were trying to get away from the dopamine detox. Don't start playing video games. That's where you're avoiding. Don't start eating junk food. Don't start doing that, because immediately your brain's gonna pick up that food and set that as your new dopamine high, your new dopamine baseline. So all that hard work you did to lower your dopamine baseline to be easily stimulated by the more important things that you need to do, you're gonna set that just to where you were by doing the bad things that got you there in the first place. So immediately after completing a dopamine detox, adopt your good behaviors and your good habits, because they're going to feel way more pleasurable than they did before. And from then on, you can do what is called a long-term dopamine detox, where you just cut out a lot of this shit that's like not bringing you pleasure. So in the short dopamine detox, we call it all pleasure, including food, music, anything pleasurable besides writing and walking and reading. And the long dopamine detox is basically just taking all the things that you know are bad for you, all the things that you know you need to avoid, and just cutting them completely out for a long period of time. And over a long period of time, you tend to find that you don't really need any of these behaviors anyway, so you tend to just drop them all together. This is honestly the best way of doing dopamine detox. It's just completely dropping all the things that don't serve you. This method is more for the hardcore fucking beast people who can actually just drop it like that, who are super disciplined. This is the way they need to do this. But if you tend to be at the beginning stages of dopamine detox, I recommend you do the 24-hour one first, and then go into the long-term one right after. I tend to follow this rule of yin and yang, is that I know I'm suffering in the moment, and I know it isn't pleasurable now, but I'm doing it so that in the future I will receive positive reinforcement and feel better in the future, because life is all about balance, right? There's a yin and the yang. You're feeling shit now, but you're gonna feel good later. If you take on a lot of discomfort and pain now, later you will get a lot of pleasure. And the thing with the dopamine detox and getting pleasure from the correct things is that pleasure kind of stays there. As long as you don't do any bad habits or ruin your dopamine by spiking it too high. Like going partying right after a dopamine detox will completely invalidate it. Dopamine detox is also good for when you just like had like a good celebration, or you just went out and you spiked your dopamine an insane amount. You had an amazing night, you did amazing things, and you come back to your life and it just feels boring and mundane. You could do a deep dopamine detox to bring it back down to a baseline and focus on with the shit that you need to work on again, and it'll completely reset everything, and you won't feel the need to go party again or go do drugs or go do this or go do that. You can stay focused on the things that you value and find important in your life. But that being said, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel, watch another video, and also like and subscribe and comment. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.